Good morning, children, and welcome to your political science class. Children, today we are going to study the same chapter, power sharing. As you know that in previous videos, I gave you one case study of Belgium, and I told you that how the government of Belgium responded to the problem of the people and what measures and steps were taken to remove those problems. And today I am going to tell you one case study of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, as you know, is an island country which is located in south of India. Comparatively, the area of Sri Lanka is quite smaller than India, and the population of Sri Lanka is near about 2 crore. And as I told you that in Belgium, two major language groups were living. So like that, in Sri Lanka, different groups were living, and those different groups were Singhals, Tamils, Christians and Muslims. So I am telling you that what is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the majority was of Singhal speaking people. Those who are known as Singhalese also, they are 74%. 18% people in Sri Lanka are Tamil people, and 13% people are Christians and Hindus. So this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. So once more, I am repeating the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. 74% people living in Sri Lanka are Singhal speaking people, 18% are Tamil speaking people, and 13% people living in Sri Lanka are known as Sri Lankan Tamils. So this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. The major religion which is practiced in Sri Lanka is Buddhism. Most of the people, they follow Buddhism, or you can say in other words that they are Buddhist. And most of the Tamil people living in Sri Lanka, they are either Hindus or Muslims. So this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. And to understand that what happened in Sri Lanka, the ethnic composition should be understood quite very well. Otherwise, the rest of the things you will not be able to understand properly if you are not knowing the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. So, children, Sri Lanka became independent country, or you can say in other words that Sri Lanka got independence in year 1948. And as Sri Lanka got the independence, the government in Sri Lanka decided, or you can say the government in Sri Lanka adopted the view of the majority community living there. Means that the Singhal people who were in majority, as I told you earlier also, that 74% of the population was Singhal speaking population. So as the government got independence, or you can say as the country got independence, the government supported the majority view. Means that the majority group, Singhal speaking group, was given more importance in Sri Lanka. So the majority was given all the privileges in job, schools, in offices. The majority people, means the Singhal speaking people, they were given more importance than the Tamil speaking people and the people belonging to different language groups. So Tamil Singhal speaking people, they were given favor and privilege by the government. So slowly what happened, the groups which were in minority in Sri Lanka, they started feeling alienated. They felt that there is no place for them in Sri Lanka, and eventually they formed a group, one organization which was known as Tamil Eelam, and they demanded a separate place for them in Sri Lanka. They wanted that they should live separately. They actually got the feeling that the government is not at all concerned about their problems. So slowly the organization which was developed, or you can say which was formed by the minorities in Sri Lanka, they raised their demand and they became violent, and this resulted in civil war. There were attacks, and from the government side and from Tamil Eelam, thousands of people were killed, and this situation was a civil war situation. So Students, you can see from both the case study, we draw a lesson. In Belgium, the government was very active and they took steps and measures to stop any kind of violence in the country. They tried to solve the problem in amicable way so that both the language group should live in Belgium peacefully. But the case study of Sri Lanka is completely different from the case study of Belgium. In Sri Lanka, we saw that the government adopted such policies which resulted in confusion and misunderstanding between the majority and the minority. And finally, what happened? What we saw the civil war in Sri Lanka. So it is very, very important in a democratic country or any country that the power should be shared among the people in equal way. Means that no group should feel alienated or no group should feel that they are neglected in that country. Thank you.